All righty, folks. It's Tanya here, and I'm getting us all set up for the Amazon live stream. I'm multicasting, so I'm going to broadcast in a couple of different places, but the primary space to be, let's just double check here. The primary space to be is going to be on our Amazon site. So it is counting me down right now. All right, we are in there. Okay, so I just wanted to, first of all, oh, good. Good, good, good. I don't have to hear myself speaking at the same time as I'm watching the preview. Here's what I wanted to do is to first of all introduce myself very briefly and then share that this is going to be a really short video. It's about 15 minutes long that I'm anticipating. So I'll be here for about 15 to 20 minutes. My name is Tanya Smith and I am with Get Noticed with Video. I am actually broadcasting right now on the Amazon Live app as well as, I don't think I'm supposed to mention that. Well, I'm broadcasting for Prime Day. How about that? And I'm broadcasting also on YouTube as well as a couple of other spaces where my community, my people actually hang out because I did a quick poll asking what you were looking for. And I want to share with you some of the deals that I found so far today. So Prime Day runs June 21st through the 22nd. So that's Monday through Tuesday. And you will find that I have set up a shop that has some of my ideal items, and I'll just pull this up next to me, but I'll blow some things up in a few minutes so that you can actually see it a little bigger. One of the things that I want to do today is really kind of share with you some of the deals. Now, earlier today, I actually shared a quick video that talked about what Prime Day is. So if you do not know what it is, definitely go back to either my Facebook site or you'll be able to find what Prime Day is just about anywhere you go. But what we want to do right now is really focus on some of the products because there's some good stuff that's going on. My store is streaming like a boss. So you can find the store, and let me show a really quick link there. And you'll see I have a little tab about small business that I'm going to pop up too. But here's my store. And I have actually added several products that I know for sure I would recommend. Okay. Some of these are going to be prime deals. So I'll focus and highlight on the Prime Day deals so that you know what those are. But the number one thing I want to encourage you to do is to make sure you get over to Prime Amazon right now so that you can make sure that you're checking for anything that you might be looking to shop for. I mentioned earlier in my video that I tend to look for categories of things that fall within the household space as well as in the business space. So, from a business standpoint, that's where I'm going to focus right now and talk a little bit about some of the things that I was able to identify. I know a lot of people were looking for audio equipment, and some of you were looking for lighting, and some were looking for, there was one other thing. Let me look at my notes real quick. But audio, oh, tripods, and other accessories that go with video. So that's what I'm going to try to focus on. But I did see a couple of other really good deals, like one on a green screen that we want to highlight. So if you're following on Amazon, again, here's where you're going to go to watch the actual live stream on Amazon. You'll find it here. And if you are on Amazon right now and you're watching, then you certainly want to make sure that you're clicking the links at the bottom that are basically my suggestions on the things that we're going to highlight. I think I have 7 products total we're going to run through really quickly, okay? So I'm going to blow this up so that you can actually see it a lot bigger. Let's do this. And let me just fix that real quick here. Okay. Now, what I want to do is to show you, and let's get that off of the screen. I'm going to show you a couple of really quick things. So first of all, like I mentioned, you were looking for lighting, webcams, audio. There were all kinds of things that you were looking for, those of you who I asked and you shared in the community. So I've got a couple of things that I'm going to share with you. Actually, let me switch you to a different screen and we'll talk about them. Oh, let me do this first because some of you may not already have an account and you need to have a Prime membership in order to be able to even purchase. So make sure that you have an Amazon membership account. That's the first thing. And you'll find when you go to sign up for a membership, what you'll be able to do is to get a free trial. Okay. And there's all kinds of different ways that you can go about doing this, either monthly or annual basis. So let me make sure I share that first. I think that's kind of key because otherwise you won't be able to purchase. The next thing I'm going to do is to actually take you to my suggested link. So the first one I'll start with is actually it's an LED light. It's called a Govee. So if you're on the Amazon site and you're watching me live, you're going to see this. The reason why I'm recommending or highlighting this particular product is because light bars are a really good accent when it comes to creating your video environment. So if you want to have some ambiance, if you will, to your video environment, having the lighting to really complement your scenery makes things so much nicer. It just gives you kind of a professional, high quality look. And so I recommend doing really subtle types of lighting adjustments, such as buying light bars. Now, I will tell you this is a lightning deal, which means that it's going to go away at a certain time. So it's only up for a limited time. One. Two, when I last looked, I know it had been almost 80% claimed, meaning there's a certain number of these items that are prime deals that are in stock. And so almost 80% of this particular item has been purchased under the prime deal rate. So you'll notice that it's $58 right now, but really you want to take a look at the site to actually find out what the pricing is at the time you watch this video, because I don't know when you're watching it, and I'll be archiving the ones that are not on Amazon. But at the time as you're watching this, it's definitely on sale and the deal is going on, but it is a lightning deal. As a matter of fact, it shows here it's going to end in about 3 hours, under 3 hours. So light bars of any kind, whether it's this particular brand, which I do like Govee brand, and I'll tell you why I like Govee. Hold on, sorry. The reason why I like the Govee brand is because you can actually install an app. There's an app on your phone, a Govee app for your phone, where you can actually just control the lighting with turning it on, turning it off, giving it a certain intensity or not, right? When you use your phone app. So it's real simple to use. As a matter of fact, I use a Govee brand set of light strips behind me to create kind of that little pink glow that you're seeing in the background. So there are several Govee lighting bars as well as or light bars as well as lighting strips that you'll see in the prime deals. So highly recommend you checking that out. If you need the link and you're not watching from my Amazon channel right now, then let me make sure I go ahead and send you to my Amazon channel so that you can actually see that. So you'll see the link right there. Now, the next thing I want to share with you is an Eero mesh Wi-Fi system. And the reason I'm sharing this is because some of you have talked about the fact that you're actually struggling a little bit when it comes to having, it's no longer available. Darn it. I'm going to say it anyway. So here's the thing about the Eero Wi-Fi. If you're struggling to get really high quality internet service or access, one of the things you want to make sure that you're watching for is that, oh, and I see a note there too. Awesome. One of the things you want to make sure that you're noticing is whether or not your internet is stable. And even if you have a pretty good plan, like I had a pretty good plan with the company that we use, I won't name, but I had a pretty good plan with them. But the problem was we did not have a good setup in our home. So our router was not really working well. We ended up investing in a mesh Wi-Fi router system, and that worked extremely well, especially for live streaming. So I want to definitely tell you to check out any type of mesh Wi-Fi systems that you also see in the deals. The next thing I'm going to go to, since we're moving really fast on this, but if you do have questions, make sure you let me know. And I'm watching in a couple of different places for questions. But one of the things I definitely want to make sure to, let's go there for messages. I want to make sure that you see are the webcam specials. So there is a Logitech C922 Pro webcam in my store, but it is not a deal. And let me explain to you that I am seeing several. So I'm going to pop this up because I want to show you what I'm recommending. But this is not a deal. This is actually just, this is the regular price for the C922. For those of you who are kind of in between and you're not a person that is yet quite ready for the DSLR, like I'm using a Sony camera right now, which also is not a deal at this time, or you're in between that versus using your smartphone and you want to just have something kind of middle ground, I think that the Logitech brand is the best. And I recently experimented with other brand webcams that were not like popular brands. And here's the challenge that you'll find with those is that typically what will happen is if you're getting something that is off brand when it comes to webcams, oftentimes what you're going to find is that they do not have the flexibility of the, like what you would get if you spend a little bit more money, right, to get your webcam. There are several webcams that are on sale. In fact, I had one, I thought, in my deals tab, but you can actually look when you go to the store, and let me pop the store back up just in case. There are several that are actually decent pricing, but when I experimented with some of those brands, what I was finding is that I was having real trouble with the quality. Like, to give you an example, one of the things that I was finding is that even using with Zoom, which it should be pretty clear, it should be good enough, right? Even using with Zoom, it looked like there was a smudge or like there was blurriness going on with the video cam. And here's, by the way, let me say this. I would look for at least a 1080p. If you're looking for pixels, I would look for at least a 1080p at this time. Now, most sites, if you're doing any type of, for instance, social media streaming, like your social media streaming on Facebook, it's only going to go up to 720p anyway. YouTube will go all the way up to 1080. But I would just recommend a minimum of a 1080. You don't need to get a 4K yet because I really feel like that's a little overkill since most places aren't streaming 4K just yet. But the average entrepreneur who is streaming, a 1080p should be just fine. And this Logitech C922 is sufficient and it's a decent price. Okay. Now, the others that you're going to find in the deals for Amazon, again, you just have to sacrifice quality for the pricing. They're going to be lower priced, yes. But you really want to read the recommendations. You want to look at the star ratings and see what people have rated them to be. Because again, I went through at least 3 different cams that I ended up returning that were off brand. And by off brand, I mean they were not known brands like Logitech. So I'm just kind of giving you that update so that you can shop responsibly and make some good choices. Now, the good thing about Prime and any Amazon Prime deals is that you can, just like you would anyway, even if it wasn't Prime Day, you can return most items within a certain span of time. So when you make that purchase, you just make sure that you're happy with it. I try to keep the boxes at least for a couple weeks to make sure that I am happy with the purchase, that there's no issues. And you do want to test out, especially your electronics. If you do find issues, then you do a return, right? Now, one of the things, again, you want to make sure you're checking for the ratings on the product itself and also check for the seller ratings. I don't ever purchase from any sellers that have less than a 90% rating. It's just my thing. You may decide differently, and that's okay. But be really careful with that because you want to make sure that you're getting the product that was promised. And sometimes it's not Amazon that's shipping these items to you, it's another third-party seller, okay, that you're working with and that you have to go through in order to get that return processed. And it could be a pain. So I like to get or invest in things that I know for sure Amazon supports and the ratings for the product and for the seller are pretty good. Okay. All right. So that's the camera situation. Let me give you another deal. I'm going to talk about this green screen that I found that is a Prime Day deal. Some of you have been looking for Amazon, or not Amazon, but you've been looking for green screens because one of the things that I hear most frequently is that people are not satisfied with their environment for video streaming. And so you're looking for a way to still have that professional look, that background, right? And if you got like a bunch of stuff in your background and you just kind of want to hide it for the day, which sometimes I do. Like right now, this is my real background. But sometimes I do want to have a little variety, or sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to have the brick today. So green screens, and I'll show you this one. I'm going to blow this up because I really, really like this one. So let me maximize it so you can see it. This one right here, and I'm going to say watch on Amazon so you can actually get the direct link to this. This is a Yesker, Yesker green screen. It is wrinkle resistant, it's portable, it's collapsible. Now, the size you definitely want to take a look at. So it is 61.1 by 72 inches. So you'll want to be taking a look at your space. And the reason I say that with green screens in particular about the spacing requirement is that you want to make sure that it's going to be up to it's going to be something that will fit the dimensions as it relates to your camera, okay? Let me tell you why. Because what often happens is people will go ahead and purchase a green screen and then they have their camera set far back away from them, right? And when it is set far back and away, and the green screen is not wide enough to cover that space, then what you end up having is you got the nice green screen with their beautiful background, their virtual background that you've uploaded, and then you got the real, like the real background showing on the sides. And you don't want to do that. So you'll want to measure your own background space to get a feel for how wide you need your green screen to be. But this is a very solid deal. The reason why I like this particular deal is because I too have purchased a green screen. It's not the same brand, but it is the same approach that they've taken to taking care of this green screen, meaning it's not one where you have to find sticky tape or find nails or find clips to put on. It actually comes with the pull up and down projector style screen. Um, it's collapsible, right? And it's the collapsible portal is built into, or the green screen is built into that. So it's all one piece. So notice how they have a handle right here, right? They've got that handle there so you can pull it up and down. The reason why that has been so important for me in terms of green screens is I wanted to be able to push it away or push it, closer to me or wherever I wanted to put it. And I didn't want to have to get help to do that, nor did I want to spend the time nailing something up or going and ironing my green screen. I love the fact that my green screen is collapsible and that you can pull the handle up and down. You can move it in and out of the way pretty easily. It's portable, right? So if you really need to take it somewhere because you're doing an off campus or out of your home event where you're streaming and you want to change the background where you are, you can do that too. But again, the most important thing when you do invest in a green screen, including this one that's on sale, is you want to make sure that the width and the height are appropriate for what you're looking for. One other thing to think about is, are you standing up or are you sitting down? So when it comes to the height, it does matter. It does matter. So I do also like this green screen. This one is a prime deal. And it looks like I don't see that it's a lightning deal. So hopefully, if you're looking for a green screen, it will be there when you get there. But like with all of these deals, there is no guarantee. So you want to make sure you jump on these deals if you're seeing, okay? If you're seeing them available and it's something you've been looking for and it's in your budget, you want to make sure you go ahead and jump on that. I have another Prime Day deal I want to share with you. We're almost to time because I promised I was going to keep this really short, but I am moving things through 3 screens so I can show everything. So let me blow this up right now. All right, so this is called a light bar. Now, I know I have this infatuation with light bars apparently because I said that earlier, didn't I? But I do. I love these light bars. This particular one you actually put on top of your not your laptop, your monitor. So see how it's going on top of this is a monitor probably for somebody's desk. I have 2 huge monitors and then I have and you can kind of see it right there. I have two huge monitors, and then I have my laptop monitor that I use, right? Now, the thing about this, or the reason why I like this particular light bar, and it kind of folds, by the way, sort of like those webcams that have the folding arm, right? So it's easy to put on top of your laptop or your monitor or wherever you want to place it. The reason why I like this particular piece of equipment is because as an accessory lighting, what it does is it gives you a real subtle lighting. So you can use this in lieu of having, you know how you have the big selfie lights and then you have the big shadow box lights, which some of those, by the way, are on sale as well. So you want to look in Prime if you're looking for lighting. And I know some of you in my community are. You want to type in shadow box or video lighting and you'll see the deals for that for Prime Day. The reason why I'm focusing in on this particular one, this monitor light bar, is because, excuse me, I love that it has switchable modes so it can give you that amber or that really bright white or that blue white that you get, right? So it gives you switchable modes. It's dimmable. And here's the kicker. This is the reason why I use one on my monitors. When I don't want really harsh light, which sometimes my selfie light is it's just way too harsh, especially given the background that I use. I don't want it to be overkill. I just want it to be a soft and subtle lighting. And so what I love about having monitor lights is because I have my two monitors like right here. If you can see my fingers pointing, I have my two monitors kind of angled on either side of me. And so they definitely put off some light. But if I add the light bar, it gives me just enough subtle light without me having to even use my selfie light ring. And that way it's not harsh. It's just soft. And that's all I want, right? The other reason why I like it is because this is also my working space. And so if I want to dim it or not dim it, but if I want to brighten it up, I can brighten the intensity by just turning the button and it will turn up the light so that I can work at the desk when I'm not doing streaming. So it's just very versatile without you having to have like a whole bunch of lamps and other stuff in your workspace. So depending on where you are doing your streaming, you'll find that this will may be a really nice and handy accessory that you can add to your library, right? All right, so that one, and then I think I have one more. Actually, there's two more. Yes, there's two more items. Here's the webcam I was going to show you. Again, I will say, I will put this disclaimer out there and say that I am not a huge fan of off-brand webcams. And why? Because I just went through at least three that I returned, right? But when I saw this and I looked at the ratings, I thought, you know what? If somebody really is in a need for, they're shopping for a webcam and they need one that is a 1080 and they want, a little bit of extra oomph to their video conferencing calls for Zoom and that kind of thing. Not that it's going to give you like this really high quality that a DSLR camera would do, like mine right now, but it'll give you sufficient, right? Sufficient streaming. So this 3-in-1 webcam that is currently available, it's in the eMeet store. It's called the eMeet C980 Pro webcam, and it has speakers, but I will give you this warning again, kind of a disclaimer. Anytime you're going to see these webcams that are on sale and you're like, oh my God, that sounds so great. It looks like it's a decent price. I might invest in that. And it has speakers. Probably don't buy it for the speakers. Because I will tell you again, the three that I bought and returned recently, I was like, the speaker didn't even matter to me anyway because I have other equipment, but they really sucked. Like they were really, really bad. What I do like again is that this has very high ratings. So, with any of the things that you're going to purchase today and tomorrow for Prime Day, please review the ratings. Also, look not just at the high 5-star ratings, but make sure you look at recency. How recent are the ratings? And look at some of the ones that are low ratings. But the place where you'll find the magic is the ones that are around 2 and 3 ratings. They have something probably to say, and they're going to give you really specific information about why they hate it or loved or just barely kind of liked whatever the product is. So this one, because it is a deal, and I promised I would focus on Prime Day deals, I would certainly suggest taking a look at it if you're in the market for webcams and review and see if this might fit your needs. The last and final thing I'm going to share, let me say this. For those of you who are looking for deals, because a lot of you were looking for deals on audio equipment. And here's the thing that I was struggling with. As I was doing research for audio equipment on the Prime Day deals, I did not find a whole lot of things that I would say, hey, go out and get this. Why? Because your audio is going to be one of the most important things you invest in when it comes to your video. I know that may sound weird, but it is because people want to clearly hear what you're saying if they're listening at all. I know they may start off with the captions and with the sound off, but absolutely you want to make sure your audio is great. And so a recent purchase I made was the Elgato Wave 3, which is a pretty decent microphone. It's a USB microphone, but my favorite of all time is still the Blue Yeti. And Blue Yeti is not on sale, so I will save that video for another day. I will be doing additional reviews of other equipment and things that I recommend. And you can find them in my Prime store, which I'll show again, tanya.click/shop. You can find my Prime store, Streaming Like a Boss store. And you'll see all my recommended items, including some of today's Prime Day deals. But I just wanted to say to you, for those of you who are looking for audio equipment, I couldn't find a whole lot. I did find there were some earbuds, some behind the ear earbuds, and you can find those if you go into my store. There was also a lavalier mic that I put into the accessories. I think I might have put it into audio or accessories. So if you're looking for a lavalier microphone that just attaches to your shirt or your undergarment so it can't be seen while you're video streaming, then that would be an excellent investment. Usually those are really affordable. Okay, if you just are not ready to invest in one of the higher quality microphones yet, like the Rode or the Blue Yeti or any of those at that level, a lavalier mic works fine. So I did have some available. I just forgot to put those into my links here, so I'm not going to be able to pull that up very quickly. But I would say to definitely look in my store and you'll find some recommendations there for that. And then finally, I'm going to pull this last product up before we go ahead and wrap. And this last product is, let's pull it up, is a tripod. Because some of you were also saying you were looking for accessories. And so from an accessory standpoint, I think about accessories as this when it comes to video. I think about arms. So I think about arms, meaning that if you have desk space, right? And you want to maintain that desk space for writing and just to kind of keep it clean and minimalistic, that's who I am. I'm that person. Then one of the things you want to look into are arms. I have an arm for just about everything. It's hard for me to show you because they're actually attached. But I have an arm for both of my big monitors so that it sits off of the desk and is not taking up a ton of space on my desk. I have an arm for my phone tripod. I have an actual tripod, which I'm going to show you in a few minutes. I have an actual tripod for my DSLR camera. I have just like tons of different arms for everything that is on my desk space. There's an arm, meaning that it's now attached to the edge of my desk instead of being something that's taking up a broad space on my desk. So that is something to definitely think about when it comes to accessories. And if you look in my store, you'll actually see that there are some recommended arms. Look and see if you see any under Prime Day deals. Definitely check that out and see if you see any. Now, I'm going to show you real quick before we wrap. I am going to show you next this tripod that I currently use. And I'll give you a couple of tips on things you want to think about if you're investing in a tripod. So this one is the Bonfoto, Bonfoto store. And I like this particular, let me get my mouse over here. I like this particular tripod for a couple of reasons. One, it's really super sturdy, and I'll blow it up so you can really kind of see it. It's super sturdy. It has multi angles and rotation. so that you can like move it to different angles, right? I like also that it is able to hold either my DSLR camera, and by sturdy, I mean what I sometimes have found with tripods is that they feel really lightweight and they end up falling and collapsing. This particular brand that I've purchased is really stable. It is a Prime Day deal right now. It can hold either a DSLR heavy camera, like my heavy one, or your phone. You can actually put it to where or arrange it to where it's either the height of you standing or it could be the height of you sitting. And that is one thing that's really super important is that you have the height that you desire. The reason why I say that is because there have been times where I've messed up and I ended up purchasing, like I did this for my daughter once. I ended up purchasing a tripod and then I was kind of miffed because it didn't even meet her height and she's not that tall, right? So you want to make sure that you're looking at measurements for any of the electronics that you're buying where you may need to, where height is going to matter. And it does matter when you're doing video streaming because depending on whether you're sitting or standing, you're going to need a different height for all of your stuff, for where your camera is sitting. So you want to be thinking about that. Color is not necessarily a thing, but if you're looking for different colors that are kind of going to kind of differentiate yours from someone else's, and I'll give you an example of where that might matter. So if you're a photographer or if you're a videographer or someone who's doing video streaming, let's say at like a blogger event, okay? Because I've been to a couple of blogger events and everybody's got all their equipment out and everybody's got the same black or the same blue or the same color tripod, then yours can go missing. So I did invest in one that was like a different color. But they do for this particular brand, this deal, they have, let's see, black, blue, red, orange red as they call it, and then red. So you can decide whichever one you want. And all of them, I believe, are on the Prime deal right now. But again, the reason that I most recommend this is that it's super sturdy. And hey, Miss Teresa, I see you, girl. It's super sturdy. It gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of the where you can move. Okay. And then it also gives you the option of being able to switch it out between your DSLR camera and your smartphone. So if you're just using like an iPhone or a Samsung or any other Android type of phone, right, it can you can kind of switch it out. I love it. It's very sturdy. I have had no issues with this one where I have with others. So I would highly recommend that if you don't have a tripod right now, definitely look into that. Now, the one caveat I would give you in regards to that is it can take up a lot of leg space because tripods, you know, they come out with the three legs. So if you're going to use that for your everyday live streaming, I don't know that I would recommend that. But if you need something portable, then I would recommend what I just shared with you. If you're going to look for something that is going to stand there and it will be there at for all times, my suggestion is to look for the combination selfie ring and tripod stand, which I do have some of those in my Stream Like a Boss store. So you can certainly take a look there. The difference is that instead of having the three legs that I'm talking about, what it will do is it's one stand. Like it's one stand, and then the three legs are at the very bottom. The reason for that is because I do have a small, intimate space. And again, because I'm a minimalist when it comes to my desk space and everything that's around me, I did not want the whole tripod taking up all my space, even though it's like behind the desk. I wanted other things to go there, and especially because I mentioned earlier that I use all those different arms to attach the monitor and the cameras and the lighting. So, given that, I want to keep things as clean as possible. So, look, if you're in my community on Facebook or anywhere else, feel free to ask me questions. And definitely, if you're asking questions here, I'm watching on the Amazon page. But just keep shopping. There's plenty of stuff that's going on this week. You definitely will want to be taking advantage of it. And by this week, I mean today and tomorrow, because the end of Prime Day is June 22nd. So you do not want to miss out. It started this morning at midnight. So you do not want to miss out. And if you are definitely looking for different budget friendly items, now is a good time for you to shop. The other good times for you to shop for deals, especially on Amazon, will be holidays such as Memorial Day, Labor Day, Christmas, Thanksgiving, all the norms. Those are great ways for you to find video equipment. You're going to find the best deals, really affordable stuff, including the audio equipment that you all were asking me for, you will find on those days. But if you have questions and there's something specific you want me to look for, because I'll be looking every hour on the hour, I'm kind of scanning to see what else is popping up, just shoot me a DM or shoot me a note and I will respond and see what we can find. Okay? We'll find something together if you need it. All right, folks. Well, that's it. I'm past my time, but I had so much fun just sharing this stuff with you. And I hope that you were able to get some good ideas. And I just appreciate you being here with me. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream, and we will next year do a really much more thorough video. And we'll also be here probably like we'll do an all day thing, maybe. Maybe. I've never done that before. But being that this is my first Amazon stream, I wanted to make sure to kind of hit you with some of the things that I knew were most important, but also to ensure that you take full advantage of the daily deals that are going on at Prime. So I'm going to pop up my website again where I am on Amazon, and you can see the deals that I just promoted and shared. And if you have questions, again, feel free to leave those in the comments. I'm so glad, Teresa. Thank you. Feel free to leave those in the comments and let me know if you enjoyed this video. All right, take care of yourself, and we will see you next time.